What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams with The Distance. Here with a prediction video. This one's for Michael Katsidis versus Kevin Mitchell. Takes place on May 15th for the interim WBO lightweight championship. Overall, really intriguing fight, if you ask me. Really intriguing because a lot of people are wondering, is Kevin Mitchell ready for the prime time especially against a fighter like a Michael Katsidis, who is going to pretty much pour his heart and soul into his fights. But now Kevin Mitchell coming off of I believe he's coming off a victory to Breas Prescott. I think he had another fight like in February against, I believe, Mendoza, when he knocked him out in the second round. It was against Mendoza. That was his last fight in February. He knocked him out in the second round. I've seen it. But Kevin Mitchell is a really good overall boxer, and pretty much he is proving himself very well, I do believe, especially with the victory over Breas Prescott, who has a victory over pretty much the UK's main attraction right now, Amir Khan. Knocked him out in one round. So he does have a really good victory over Prescott, another good victory over Mendoza. And Prescott really, I think, is the only name on his resume that is really big, because Breas Prescott, of course, beat the man over in the UK, who's Amir Khan. So that is a real quality win. So anyway, and Michael Katsidis, he's coming off a split decision win over Vincent Escobedo, or Beto, however the hell you pronounce it. But Michael Katsidis, is one of those fighters. He has been in the ring with some top quality lightweights, to say the least. He's been in the ring against Juan Diaz, Joel Casamayor, and Vincent Escobedo. So he pretty much he's been in the ring and has some experience against some top quality lightweights, especially from Casamayor and Diaz, two people who kind of held down the division a couple years back. So anyway, on to the fight. Kevin Mitchell does a very good job boxing and moving. He has good hand speed, some pretty good power, and he has some really good head movement as well. Along with the good head movement, he moves a lot. Doesn't stay stationary, and I do believe that this provides a problem for Michael Katsidis, who I believe will have trouble against an outside fighter due to the fact that he does stand on the inside and trades. I think the punch for Kevin Mitchell in this fight is the right hand, because if you look at Michael Katsidis' fights, the left eye swells up all the time. I think there's scar tissue in that left eye, but that left eye always swells up, and other than that, other than the left eye swelling up, I just believe that Katsidis would have trouble fighting from the outside. But Kevin Mitchell throws a very good left hand lead. I do believe the left hand lead should be the shot that he throws, due to the fact that Katsidis, in his defensive guard and his stance, straight shots get through the guard. So I do believe he could set up. I think he needs to set up Katsidis with the right hand, using that left jab, pretty much using the left jab, right hand move. That's really what he needs to do. He needs to, like I said, left jab, probably maybe a counter overhand right, or maybe a follow up overhand right, and then just move right after he lands the shot. And that's really what Kevin Mitchell wants to do. Kevin Mitchell wants to make this a boxing match as much as possible. He needs to stay off the ropes, because he does have that tendency because he kind of fights off that back foot, and he does have that tendency to get right into the ropes. He needs to stay off the ropes against Katsidis, and he does need to use pretty much the corners to his advantage, corners of the ring. So if he uses the corners of the ring to his advantage and moves, and then as he's moving, catch Katsidis kind of coming out of these angles and coming out from the perimeters, he'll be able to get some really good combination shots against Katsidis, because Katsidis I do think that with his hand speed, I think he'll catch Katsidis before he's able to protect himself. So that's really what Kevin Mitchell needs to do. He needs to pretty much use the hand speed to an advantage. He needs to use the left hand lead and throw the right hand. He needs to throw that right hand as much as possible in this fight, because as I mentioned, that eye is going to swell up if he can get that right hand in, because I do believe there's scar tissue in that left eye. Michael Katsidis, I think he needs to start this fight off at a very fast pace, because Kevin Mitchell doesn't necessarily start off at a fast pace. He kind of works up momentum, and Katsidis is the same way, but I do believe that Katsidis needs to start this fight very fast. He needs to apply constant pressure, and he does throw a left jab, and he needs to use that left jab to set up other things. He needs to use the left jab to more than likely set up, maybe combinations to the body, or maybe use the jab to set up, a way to apply pressure. He needs to use his jab. He needs to, and as well, he does need to try to make it an inside fight, and maybe he can use the jab to make it an inside fight. But and other than that, he does have to do something. He has to overpower Kevin Mitchell and try to get him on the ropes. I think he more than likely is the stronger fighter. I think he should try his best to get Kevin Mitchell on the ropes and cut off the ring instead of chasing him. Because if he chases Kevin Mitchell, then Kevin Mitchell will take advantage of that. So I think he wants to cut off the ring rather than chase Kevin Mitchell in this fight. And when he cuts off the ring, he needs to throw combination shots. He needs to throw combinations, apply pressure, sneak the right uppercut in that he likes to throw, sneak that in, and and it could win him the fight. But I look at this fight, and this is what I look at. If you look at the offensive stance of Kevin Mitchell, you see that both hands of Kevin Mitchell are, they're even. Like when he holds his hands up, his hands are even. He gets his hands up in time to protect himself from shots. Uses his right hand very well to protect himself from the left jab, and overall he does tend to get hit with over right hands. And if you look at the feet are positioned perfectly. And with his feet, he doesn't necessarily cross them or anything. His feet are positioned to where he can move, and he can pretty much maneuver around the ring and do whatever he wants, basically, against most fighters. And on top of that, he's very good on his feet. Good lateral movement, good, pretty much good circular movement. Michael Katsidis, on the other hand, if you look at Michael Katsidis, hands are a bit even, but if you look at his feet and you look at how he's positioned in the ring, his feet, have to be planted at times for him to get his shots off. But when his feet are not planted, then he has kind of balance issues. He'll probably have issues with balance. But the thing is with Katsidis is he fights fighters who don't necessarily move. Like Jesus Chavez didn't really move against him. Juan Diaz didn't necessarily move against him. Kasmaur stood, he traded with him. There's another fighter, with another fighter's name began with an A. He stood and he traded with him. And Kevin Mitchell, I do believe, will stay out of these exchanges with Katsidis. I think he's going to move a lot, and constant movement with the footwork of Katsidis, and possible balance issues, with that footwork, because, his feet are a bit wide and he kind of trots forward. I think, along with that, I think that Kevin Mitchell should win the interim WBO lightweight championship bout. I just believe that he does have a lot of advantages in this fight. And I think it's a good fight overall. But I'm going to go with Kevin Mitchell, unanimous decision. But anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.